Hello, everybody. I'm John.
Y'all are Cajun Rob here, hanging out with you in parts unknown.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but the intro didn't come on, so we're just gonna wing it.
That's weird.
Yeah, but it is weird.
We'll blame it on the storm. It's the storm coming up. That's what happened.
There we go. Or we're gonna blame it on the cold weather.
Yeah, there you go. Both.
Yes, but tonight we have the winner from the Lake Seminole Lady Bass Anglers Association tournament on with our first boating victory. Christine Fisher. She's if you anyone in the fishing world, you probably know who she is. She's all over social media. She's all over the kayak series. And now she's taking over the boat series, which is kind of scary for some women out there. Makes me happy. I don't have a boat, but yet I wish I did have a boat. So
Yeah, she's an absolute warrior. I guarantee
yeah,
you.
yeah. There's no stopping her. She's just a great woman, and she's also a great fisherman and great supporter of the sport and educator. So let's bring Christine on, and but we'll get to find out what happened and how she did so well.
Absolutely.
Hey guys.
Good evening.
Hey, how's it
How are
going?
you?
Good.
Oh, well,
We're here.
Yeah. If you want to trade, I mean, I'm sure the weather's warmer down there than up here.
You're not wrong.
Just a little bit.
We'll keep it, and we'll keep it. But I'll take the custard you have up there for what we got down here.
Wow.
Yeah. And but no, congratulations on your victory once again.
Thank you. Yeah, how cool was that? It was pretty exciting.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was excited for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. You're definitely one of the true good people in the bass fishing world.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's I love our sport because I really feel like we have so many just good people, just happy, positive, when we all love to fish and doesn't matter what, walk of life you're in or what background you come from. I've just met some of the best people in our community. So I'm just grateful to be a little tiny part of it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So for those of you who don't know, Christine fished the LBAA last year, I think one tournament, and she told them they were coming back. She was coming back to fish a couple this year, and so she fished the first one, and what does she do? She just goes out and wins it. So, but congratulations! I know it's a big transformation going from a kayak to a boat. It's like going from the back of the boat to the front of the boat.
Yeah.
So it's a huge transformation. So if you want to talk about the tell a little bit about yourself and talk about the tournament, we can go there.
Yeah. So, Seminole, when I saw the schedule, I was really excited because, I think I've had 2 kayak tournaments on Seminole. So I've got just a little bit of experience there, but from what I knew of it from kayak tournaments, it's got a lot of grass, it's got stumps, it's a fishery that I've always really liked. And I told you guys before we got on here that I'm kind of went through a little tournament bender there. I had 4 in a row. I mean, every single week it's crazy, kayak and boat. And I had just came from, I wrapped up a big tournament down the Kissimmee chain for our first Bassmaster kayak tournament that wrapped up on Sunday. So on Monday, I drove up to Seminole and got some stuff ready on Tuesday and got on the water Wednesday and, had just a little bit of time to practice. And I went and just checked some of my kayak history from the 2 times I've been on Seminole. And honestly, it was kind of tough for me. I was expecting a little bit more of a little bit cooler water temperatures. I was expecting to see like 52, 53. When I got in the water, it was 60 to 63 degree water temps. And so, early Feb, I was kind of thinking, Seminole's infamous for its fish in the depressions. There's a lot of depressions out in the flats that will just load up with these fish. It's one of those excellent little transition staging areas for those big free spawners coming in. So I kind of went into the tournament just thinking I'm going to be able to roll up some of these depressions that I've fished in the past and just, find them. And it's going to be incredible. I think what happened, and just from talking to a couple of ladies there, and they said they had kind of a tough practice also. I think the week before it was a lot colder, and I'm sure that those water temps were in those low to mid 50s. And all of a sudden, this huge warm spell comes up, and we're right in between a moon. And I think those fish kind of just moved up a little bit, and were kind of roaming a little, and just they wanted to spawn, but it was that weird. Just those few very, very warm days had them in kind of a weird funk. Is the best I can describe it from just the very limited time I had on the water. Because I was kind of bummed because I didn't feel like I really had it dialed. And I always like to feel like, I kind of got it figured out. I did a lot of junk fishing in some of the areas and just kind of went with intuition and, definitely didn't find a lot of fish. I probably could have gone to a couple areas and caught a lot of bucks and caught a lot of smaller fish, but I figured I would stay in some stuff that I knew had better fish, but we wouldn't get as many bites type of deal. But yeah, the lake I was hoping it was going to fish a lot better. I just think that, again, just having one day to try to put it together and with that warmer weather, I think it just kind of had things a little bit off. And I think if we would have been there 1 week prior or 1 week later, but a totally different story.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got a couple comments here. Gonna run through real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Andy Slager says, "Hey, Robin, everyone."
How's it going, Andy?
Yeah. Andrew Pulliam says, "Hey guys, congrats on the win, Christine."
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
John Adams with Star Lure says, "Good evening."
Hey, John.
Amy Brown says,
"Amy, I was just
hey,
talking
Christine,
to her."
Congrats.
Thanks, lady.
Jeremy May says, "Hey, folks from the Mayhem fam and Lil Non-Scopers."
Little non-scopers.
He comes back with that full moon had them fish were on the bank near their spawning grass areas. Females were in the ditches near the spawning areas.
Well, it wasn't a full moon for us, so I'm not sure if he's saying now or but yeah, we were kind of in between the moon a little bit. Yeah. So but yes, I mean I would have thought they would have been in the ditches and in the depressions, and I'm sure they were somewhere, but the stuff that I had fished, they were not in those, unfortunately for me.
Yeah, because I mean Jen Nolan says congrats on your first boater win.
Thanks, Jen.
I don't think the fish realize that they're supposed to spawn all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do that.
I mean, in my home lake up here in Cayuga, like the water temperature can go anywhere from 55 to 70 degrees difference from the north to the south.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But so I have a question I've been curious about. Do you change your before we get into talk about the tournament, do you change your pre-tournament strategy whether you're fishing in a kayak or a boat as far as your study and stuff like that?
Nope, it's exactly the same.
Okay.
I started, I used to years and years ago in kayak tournaments, I would kind of look for those, tough to get to little sneaky areas like going under culverts and the backwaters. But I knew I eventually wanted to get in the boat stuff. And I knew that wasn't going to help me. So I wanted to start fishing. The last several years, all the tournaments I've fished have been in areas that I fish with boats, and boats can fish too. So my practice is very similar for each.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to, go ahead, Rob.
Oh, quick question. That reminds me. Now, the boat versus kayak, do you use the same rods, different lengths? Now, how do you approach that?
That's been challenging because I have the same rods and I have to, and the same tackle. I wish I could duplicate my stuff and just have some stuff I keep in the kayak and some stuff I keep in the boat. No, it's like a Russian roulette. Like when I, or a Chinese fire drill, when I, have to go and grab a bunch of stuff from my boat and throw it in my kayak and then take all my stuff from my kayak and put it back in my boat. I haven't really figured out a system for that yet. So yeah, I just, you know, my boat's like a traveling tackle shop right now. So when I just pull stuff for the kayak, then I got to put it back in the boat when I have a boat tournament. So it's been kind of fun.
Yeah. See, I run the same thing when I do like co-angler stuff and I go kayak, half my stuff's in the kayak, it's all over the place. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
If you need more, I got a bunch of stuff sitting over here that I'm not using.
I see that.
So you said Seminole didn't play out or start the way you wanted. I'm figuring you wanted to either be bed fishing or frog fishing with the water temperatures that you wanted.
Well, honestly, like I said, the full moon's actually in about 4 days. It's
Okay.
at the end of this week, and we were right in the middle of a moon phase. And, you know, that's a very pivotal for fish wanting to spawn. It doesn't mean that fish won't pull up on an off moon phase. I mean, you know, some will, but the biggest waves are going to wait for that full moon. That's always how it is. And we did not have it at all. Oh. And the water temperatures were in that kind of, again, they had been, I really preferred it. I was hoping it was going to be like 52. Because then they would have really been piled up in those depressions and in the ditches. And I believe that they probably were I think there's a big high school tournament and there were, I think 2 20-pound bags caught and then it dropped off real quick. But, you know, I got to almost guarantee, you know, those fish were loaded in those depressions and ditches about a week ago when the water temp was in the low 50s. But again, I just had one day to kind of break it down. And I did go, you know, to the mouth of one of the major creeks and saw some pretty good fish on live scope and missed a pretty big one doing that. And I know that I probably could have committed to that and you know, kind of did that all day during the tournament and maybe have done a lot better. But I'm going to be totally honest with you. Just from being a behind someone that was scoping and the Bass Opens on Leech Lake, I was not about to do that. I mean, my favorite part about fishing LBA is fishing with my co's and help teach them anything I can, any knowledge I can impart on somebody. I love doing that. And honestly, I love having fun fishing with those gals. So I did not do any of the scoping thing at all. And I'm not going to in these tournaments. I'm just not. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the co-anglers appreciate that.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And I'm so thankful that Bass did away with it because now in the Opens, you know, I'll probably do the scope thing, you know, for the majority of them. I did for Clark's Hill and I will from those moving forward for the most part, unfortunately. But for these, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Wow. It amazes me someone who fishes for a living who's cognizant of the other people around them.
I think it's really important. I mean, I will never, you know, take away from the people that aren't like that because I know there's most people probably aren't like that. You know, I've definitely experienced it, and they're out there trying to win and do that. And there is nothing wrong with that. I just think I'm wired just a little bit different in that regard. And the most important thing for me is just, I loved like seeing Pam, my co on day 2, catch her first good fish and just her excitement. Like the video is so good and it just made my whole day. And the Gunnersville tournament, my first co had never bass fished before. And I taught her how to look for brim beds and why fish were really keyed in on brim beds this late in the summer and how to look for these holes in the grass and how to reel it. If you can't, you know, get it in there real quiet, how to cast past it and reel it to the edge and kill it and look for those holes. And that's you're like a little sniper and those fish will lay up. And that she got second on the co-angler side because she took that knowledge and used it with her day 2 boater. And that to me is 10 times more enjoyable than winning any tournament. And it's always going to be like that. The Opens are going to be a little different, you know, because that's a different goal there. And I would never take away from those guys for, you know, they got to do what they're trying to do. They're trying to make the Elite Series. They can't be worried about so. But, you know, for me, I love this part of it because I love to, I love to just teach anything I can, and I love sharing the water with people, and just, you know, I love fishing, and I love hanging out with good people. So, and trying to teach people and watching them light up when they catch a fish, or if something clicks for them, you know, that's a cool thing.
Yes. All right. So let's go. Let's talk about Seminole. What was the major player for you in that? Bait wise and everything.
Oh gosh, yeah. It was junk fishing 101. You know, I fished my kayak history. That's all I did.
Yep.
And the first day I was kind of ripping and crawling a chatterbait. I did a little bit with a trap, and I was swimming a worm. That was kind of the three big things. And on the second day, I think most all of my fish came swimming a worm and then doing a little bit of light duty flipping pads. Yep. You know, the sun finally popped out on the second day late. And I knew as soon as that happened, you know, I had one area that there was several groups of pads, and those fish, it was probably 6-7 foot of water, but when that sun popped up, they sucked right up underneath the pads, and you could swim a worm on top of the water, and they just grab it. But when it's cloudy, just flip them and you catch it too. So a little bit of flipping, swimming a worm. The second day, I didn't do as much with the chatterbait. I put on a clinic with the pickerel on that, so I got kind of fed up with it. And
yeah, that's a lot of fishing up here. You know, you don't throw certain things because you know you're going to get pike.
You're going to donate them.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go. We got a bunch more comments here. We're going to cruise through them real quick. Okay, where are we here? Ricky Hurd says, that's one fish catching lady there. Watch her videos and her kayak catch them bass.
Thank you.
And
I try.
Yes. And you don't show all, I mean, you show the good and the bad.
There's there's a lot of that. I've got some funny boat stories. Speaking of that, if you
Sherry Lee Hallman Spivey says, hey Christine, I love watching you fish. I love the Yeti ball cap. Searched till I found it. Now I wear it when I fish, trying to catch some Fisher Mojo.
Yeah, I got it on today. That's awesome. I think I remember seeing her comment on one of my videos, and I was like, yes, we are our Yeti cap gals. Thank you, Sherry.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Oh, Jeremy says full moon was January 13th, but normally leading to that, know it's coming and start making the transition.
Yep.
I think he means February 13th.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, which is in a couple, a
couple days.
Not last week. Yeah, not last week.
Yeah, he says loaded question, Rob.
Yeah, about the rods.
Yeah. Roderick Green says good job.
There it goes.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
And there's LaTonya, are you doing your victory dance yet? I just got to ask that question real quick for you.
Yeah,
she's an Eagles fan.
She's a Eagles fan, and she did do a victory dance I saw on her Facebook page. And she says, sounds like my life as a co-angler / boater. Referencing switching
have stuff everywhere.
Stuff over.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
Rhonda Pitts says, when Bass Elites was on Seminole a couple of years ago, they went through tremendous amounts of lower units. Did you find the lake hard to maneuver? Ooh. And congratulations on the win.
Oh, Rhonda, love Rhonda. Miss you, girl. Hope to see you at Caddo. Yes, that was one of the most intimidating things. Seminole is ridden with stumps. I mean, everybody knows that. And we had really heavy fog the first 2 mornings. So I got my first experience running through fog. And how I combated the stumps, I saw a lot of people running out of the channel and out of the boat lanes. I was not one of those people. It took me a lot longer to get where I was
too
going.
Risky. Too risky.
No, nope. Maybe 15 years ago I would have done that, but I don't know that lake at all. So I was very disciplined in staying right in the channel. I didn't deter out of the channel. I didn't take any shortcuts. Especially if I have someone else's life in my hands in the boat. It was difficult, but if I stayed in the channel, and just kind of ran the boat lanes. Honestly, the hardest part was the fog. You can ask Secret. She was my boater on the first day. I did not like that. And she gave me a couple tips on how to, do my maps to where I could keep an eye, but I was so worried about a boat popping up in front of me because you couldn't see very well at all. So I just kept it as slow as I could. And that was, I did not like that.
Yeah, you can't really practice for that.
No. And I'm lucky I got the practice. Like, I'm really thankful I got it, but goodness, I could go without that for sure.
Yes. I mean, as a co-angler, that's something.
Well, and not only boat in front of you, you worry about somebody behind you come bailing on you.
Oh yeah, I know. So I was scared if you would slow down, someone's gonna ram in the back of me. So it's like, goodness, what do you do?
Yeah, it's a fine line right there.
Yeah. Jeremy has a question for you. So if the water temp's at 56 degrees and it's 5 days before the first full moon of the spawn, how would you approach that? Water clarity isn't an issue.
Well, if it's 56, that's quite a bit cooler than what we had. I would say they'd still be in the depressions and ditches pretty heavily at 56. I think for sure. And is that, I think we're talking, is that the main lake temp, or is that, some of the shallower bays temp, or the core, like there's a core temperature of the lake, right? That doesn't really vary very much. So it kind of depends. But when I got, just for context, Jeremy, when I got on the water in the morning, my water temp was like 59 and it would get up to like 64. So it was that, and this happened fast. I think the week before our tournament, it was 52. And consistently that. And then I think it got up to like 54, 55, and those fish were loaded. I would be willing to bet they were pretty heavily loaded in the depressions and a lot of the ditches. And I'm sure somewhere on the lake, that was probably the case, but it was just with not the ability to run around. All the areas I looked, I couldn't find them piled up like that. But if it were those conditions right there, I would, even with the full moon being 5 days before, I would be looking for that first kind of that first area before they actually pull up, is what I would do. Look for the bigger females to be just off of the areas where they're going to start spawning.
Okay. Headwaters, Jimmy Fallon says, best female angler out there, best of the best.
Oh, thank you. That's a big old bass in your pick. Hey, girl.
Carol says, so proud of you for you, lady. Hugs from Texas. She's going to be coming on here.
Awesome.
Yeah, Carol's wonderful. One of my WFF gals.
Cool.
Yeah. Good and the bad. Jeremy, we got a lot of both coming for you. I had a lot of bad, but I mean, my bads, even the worst stuff, I mean, it's still good for me. So
yeah,
just part of life.
Oh, it's all good.
I appreciate that.
Oh, it is.
Kayak Fishing Magazine says, hello, Christine. Hope you got your phone back. She did.
And it works. Yeah, big deal. That was a big deal for me. Very exciting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When I saw that video, I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh.
That's something you never want to do. Especially the worst part was the dang gators I had just seen. Like the day before. Man. Big old Florida gator. That if it was like
and that black water, you can't see nothing.
But chest deep, oh gosh, I hated every second of that. It was miserable. I was so scared the entire time. But I had to do it. I had a horrible first day, and I was bound and determined I was not going to let that lake beat me like that. I was like, I'm going to put up a bag today, and I can't do it without my phone. So I got to get the phone.
Yeah,
I did. I put up a huge bag. So
nice.
Yeah. So but it's never. If I think you guys have followed me long enough now that I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that it's a total mess out there almost every tournament. So,
but you're keeping it real. You're keeping it real.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a mess. I'd call it sophisticated chaos.
Oh, that's a compliment. Yeah. Thank you.
Good term. I like that term.
Yeah.
I'll remember that next time something happens.
Yeah. Well, Rob, that's for Christine. That's not for you.
Oh, I know. Yeah, mine's chaos all the time.
Yeah.
Mine's chaos all the time.
Sherry Lee Hallman Spivey says, I was thinking what a trooper you were fishing that phone out of the water, and OMG, whatever was bumping your leg.
Same.
She's
Yeah, that
not
was horrible.
envious. She's not envious.
And
No.
but you know what? I watched that video probably 3 or 4 times, and you did not look scared.
Yeah, I tried very hard to keep everything calm and collected beneath the surface. It was not that though.
She was too shocked to be scared. Maybe.
Yeah, and the water was kind of cold, so I mean that was it too.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Kojak.
definitely.
That guy right there was an angel from heaven on my first boat tournament. He
really?
just was, yeah. I had his girlfriend and was my co on the second day, and he helped me kind of figure out my live wells. He was just awesome, dude. So
outstanding. Yeah. All right, one more.
James Old says, "Hey guys, we got the hammer on tonight."
Thanks, James.
I agree with that.
Seminole.
All right.
Jeremy May says Seminole cost him a trolling motor in the boat lane at the mouth of the. See now, Jeremy, that's something you don't have to worry about up here.
Yeah,
you don't have boat lanes up here, so you should be good. It's just 5 and 6 and 8 and 10 footers you have to worry about,
and 5, 6, and 8 pounds long.
Yeah, you got to take the good with the bad.
Hey, for sure, I love those cows.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys want a funny boat story?
Always.
Bring it.
I'm from Seminole too. Speaking of just organized chaos. So it was after the first day of the tournament. I was kind of running around. I lost my shoes. My favorite Yeti hat flew off my head. Got back to the ramp. Couldn't find my transom saber. Couldn't for the life of me. I remember in my mind unstrapping the bungee and moving my motor, and then I don't remember where I put it. So then I thought someone stole it out of bed of my truck. So that was a bummer because I can't, with my boat specifically, I should not be driving without it at all. So I found a marine shop, crawled to it, bought another one, get home, trying to unload everything, dump my footage. And I find this Mexican restaurant because I don't want to cook. I find this Mexican restaurant like 10 miles away on a double lane highway, right? That I got to drive to, and it's connected to a Best Western. So I walk out to my truck, and truck and boat are hooked up, drive to the restaurant, and there's no parking there because it's crowded. So I pull into the Best Western, which is right next to it. They're like connected. So I pull into where you would like go check into your hotel room, and just because I'm going to run in and grab my food real quick and come out. I get out of my truck and I hear this, "Ma'am," and I turn around. There's a guy and his wife standing there, and there's a couple other people like at the entrance to the hotel. And I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Your boat's got a long tail." And I was like, "What?" He's like, so he points at it, and I walk around and look at my boat, and my it's like a 40-foot extension cord was dragging behind my boat.
Oh,
right? I left it plugged in and forgot to unplug it. So I just drove off, jacked it out of the outside outlet, and drug it down the highway all the way to the Mexican restaurant. It was destroyed. Yeah. And here I am, with this Bassmaster, and I'm just sitting here like looking like an absolute mess. Like I was like, "Buddy, they're just staring at me, and I'm staring at them, and I'm just like, you got no idea." No idea. This is an everyday thing. So I was like, "Oh man."
You battle and conquer.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Overcome, adapt, and overcome.
Mm-hmm.
I quit using that when I got out of the Army.
Oh, yeah. But it's beat into your brain. I know mine is. So.
No. Yeah. So, were you shocked at the weights on Seminole?
Honestly, I was. Yeah. Because again, I didn't feel like I had a real good pulse on the fishing. I know how good Seminole is, especially in February. So I would have guessed it was going to take 18 pounds a day, probably minimum, to probably win it. So that in my kayak tournaments, I kind of looked back on the two that I fished. One of them was in February, one was in April. And I would have had, the one I got fifth in, I had probably 20 pounds, 22, because I had a huge bag one day, a little over 20 pounds, and I would have had like 15 pounds the other day. So I kind of knew what I thought I needed to have, but I guess I don't know. I guess the lake was just, it was in that little bit of a funk because I didn't feel like I had it really figured out. One of the gals asked her, said her college kids were going there and kind of want to know what I figured out. And I was like, I wish I had something better to tell you. I don't think I had it figured out. And, that was kind of the bummer to me because I always love to leave just feeling like something clicked. And I just junk fished. I really did. Unfortunately, I wish it was, I wish I had it really dialed. I could tell this awesome story, but I didn't. I did what best that I could and tried to just fish the conditions. And that's what I did. When the sun popped out, I knew what to do. And I fished, just fish as best as I could for what I had.
You grinded it out, like they say.
Yeah,
grinder
absolutely. That's all I could do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So did you learn anything specific from that tournament that you think you can use later on?
Yes, keep better tabs of your transom saver because I went on to learn because they videoed me backing down that first day. I left it connected to my motor. It wasn't connected. It was the bungee was undone, but as soon as I trimmed it up in the water, obviously it fell. So double check that. Make sure you unplug your boat. I guess the best thing was when driving in fog, it's really, really helpful to have a good pair of sunglasses. Like I have those Hobie Sightmaster ones, the yellow lens. Those were huge.
Yeah.
Those were my biggest takeaways.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's really nothing with the fish. I fished just how I would have, any other circumstances. Just did some junk fishing because I didn't get them figured out.
Well, whether you figured them out or not, you got a trophy.
Yeah, and I was ecstatic because I wasn't expecting it at all. So yeah, I was.
And to be honest with you, I think you had a little over 12 pounds on day one.
Day one, I had I think like 10 and change, and I had almost 14 on the second day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that you were leading after day one.
Me too. Yeah.
I was expecting 16 to 18 pounds,
which is what I was.
You.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now again, like I said, the lake did feel a little off. Even my first day of practice, I was like, they should be here, and they're not. But with the water temps, I was like, oh, the water temps and the moon where it was. I was like, this could be when it gets really, really warm like that very quickly. We had the same thing happen in Florida. Practice was very, very tough. They had a huge warming trend come after a really, really cold, few weeks. And the first few days, it was just it had a little bit of a funk, Yeah. So.
That happens.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want to hit a couple more of these comments?
Yeah, we'll go through them real quick.
Trisha with Fish Her, I'm going to take a wild guess. Says, congratulations on your LBAA win.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
Jeremy says, core temps where they spawn, it's a fast changeover.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And one of your partners, Anastasia Patterson. Good with the Dyson, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that girl.
Says, keep doing great things. Head up, hammer down.
I hope she's feeling better, Annie. I hope you're feeling better. I'm thinking about you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's not going to make the open.
Oh.
Tanya Hachowski. Hello, everyone. Just got home from work. Hey, Christine.
All right. And then the legend.
Yes.
Thanks, Ed.
Ed says congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
USA Kayak Fishing Magazine says that's what separates the weak from the warrior. In the water with the gators.
I think that was what proves that I don't have a lot of brain cells working up there. Is that I just don't get in the water.
Oh man.
No fear.
No fear.
Jeremy says you have to go to Florida after a cold front. They will lay on the bottom. So if you're scoping around and see a big log on the bottom, 9 out of 10, it's a gator.
I believe it. I believe it.
Are you finding out this great advice afterwards?
Yeah. You learn, live and learn.
Yeah. John Adams says his first trip to Headwaters, he lost his phone. There was a gator 30 yards from where I dropped the phone and decided the gator could have it.
That's probably smart. I've seen the gators at Headwaters.
Oh, yeah. I don't blame you there.
Rhonda Pitch says DD26 transom saver, so easy to use.
That's not the first time I've heard that. I need to look into that.
Yeah.
Well, not that it's easy to use, but or hard to use, difficult or simple. Just you gotta have it. Jeremy says John likes Mexican extension cords.
I don't know that want to know what that means.
I don't either.
Oh, I thought it was an inside thing. Maybe.
I don't either. I got a story about that kind of stuff too, but
that looks like a muskie.
Yep. Ooh, nice.
I'll spot one of those a mile away.
South Bruce Guide Service loves seeing Christina in the water looking for her phone with her bare feet. There's no way I'd like to be doing that in gator water. Tight lines.
Hey, I mean, 2 of us. I didn't want to be doing it either.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
And Roy with Kayak Fishing magazine says you're making memories.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Heather Ann Herring says, "Hey girl, awesome job. I hope to get some more time on the water this year during the year's LBAA, especially
Frog fishing." That's right, Heather. Good to see you. I can't wait to see her again.
Absolutely.
Unplug your drop cord.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it don't.
Heather Ann Herring says, "Good girl, awesome job. I hope to get some more time on the water with you during upcoming LBA."
Yes.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we got the other.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, do you have any questions for Rob?
Yeah, talking about from the kayak boat. That looks like going from like a smart car to like an 18-wheeler. Is it how's the transition? I mean, apparently you got something figured out to get the wind, but how'd that go for you? You made it look really smooth.
Well, if you saw my Gunnersville recap, it didn't go very smooth from last year. It definitely was definitely, and I still, I think the biggest thing with the boat, and I've learned this, I got in the water yesterday on Lake Fork, and it was really windy, and I was trying to do a little scoping out there. And my boat, being aluminum, sits really high up in the water, and it has a lot of draft to it. So in the wind, well, the biggest hurdle for me is boat positioning. Yeah. And it's very crucial for a lot of things. And with my kayak, I know exactly how that kayak's going to maneuver, how it's going to move, how I can position it. I just don't have that with the boat yet and the trolling motor. But just, kind of feathering it and just making micro adjustments and just understanding how that boat's going to drift and how it's going to move and how you need to, if it's sideways. There's so much that, that's the biggest challenge for me. Driving, it's getting better. Shoot, I can load it, unload it, launch it, dock it, all that I feel pretty good with now. When at first I did not. That was a huge challenge. Getting a lot better at that. I can take the boat out. I've been taking the boat out by myself this whole year and even the end of last year, and feel very comfortable with that. But it's just I just need more time on it, on the front of it, on the trolling motor.
I got you. It makes sense.
And it's tough fishing kayak tournaments and boat tournaments because you can't take the boat for the kayak to practice. So, which I learned through you, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you face any challenges in that tournament? I know in the kayak tournament you faced your phone issue and swimming with the gators and stuff like that. But was there anything outside of the boat itself was challenging for you?
I think just my energy levels and just coming off of a tournament that I had, been several tournaments. I was tired and having to drive, all day on Monday after fishing, wrapping up a tournament Sunday, and then start getting on the water bright and early again the next day. And that was the last one in my run, and I could feel it. My body was starting to hurt. My back was starting to hurt. I could just feel that just being kind of worn down a little bit from, going 100 miles an hour for the last several weeks and just having a lot of stuff. That's one of the biggest challenges for me. And then, on top of that, I manage all my own business and do all of my editing and try to keep up with all my, contracts and everything like that. And so I feel like I have 15 full-time jobs sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So, cause I do all the YouTube stuff too. So having to make sure my camera gear is ready to go. And it takes me a couple hours to get, and when I really want to be rigging, I actually didn't really do much rigging for that tournament because I had to get so much camera stuff ready and I was just exhausted. So I was like, well, I'm just going to kind of roll with this one, with what I got. And then setting up camera gear and dumping all the SD cards and trying to get some stuff done. I think mostly I just was kind of to that point where I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a lot of fun and I'm so looking forward to it. But I need a couple days just to try to catch up and breathe after this big stint of tournaments. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, that's incredible. The hard parts of being a professional angler, the travel, the preparation,
the grind.
It's not all fun and games.
No.
And if you think
not all glamorous, not all glamorous.
If you think it is, watch Christine's Facebook or YouTube channel. She shows it all.
I do. Yeah. I think that's important because a lot of people like to romanticize it. I did have an interesting. I was fishing with a gal that day of practice. I took a friend out who was fishing it, and she had asked me. She said, how isn't it cool? You get to just travel to all these amazing places. And it's like, gosh, a lot of people make that comment to me, like I'm so envious of what you get to do. And do you ever get tired of that? And I said, well, here's something I want you to think about. And I think this is really important because it'd be really easy for me to look at somebody else's situation, someone that has a home and a consistent 9 to 5 and routine and can go to a gym every single day and have a garden. You know how bad I want to have a garden or have a pet. I told her, I was like, it'd be very easy for me to say the same thing about y'all. When you guys look at me and get so envious, like, oh, I wish I could travel or I would love to do this. I could look at you guys and say, I wish I could have a dang garden because I want that so bad. And for a while there, I found myself, being almost envious of other people that didn't do what I did, but had that more normalcy and routine. And I told her, I was like, the thing that I've learned is that we are all in, wherever you're at in your journey. And for me personally, wherever I'm in my journey, I'm going to be very present in that stage of my life and in that journey. And I'm going to be so dang thankful for it, whatever it looks like. Because if I waste my time now, it's always so much easier to say the grass is greener, or I wish I could be traveling all over the world and fishing and the reality is people that are doing that wish they could have that stability or have that little distance of normalcy or be able to go to a gym every day and just have these routines down. So I love what I do and I always will. Are there ups and downs of it? Yes. Just like with every other aspect of our lives, no matter where you're at in your life, there's going to be ups and downs. I choose to focus on the ups always. And even the downs for me are going to be ups because this is life and it's beautiful and it's messy every time. So, as badly, I have a goal to be able to have a little bit of more stability one day and to have a dog and to have the garden that I've always dreamed of. But that's a goal. It's not something that I'm just aching for right now because I'm very thankful. I'm going to be thankful. I choose to be thankful for where I'm at right now and the stage of my life and what I get to do. If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
It does.
It does.
I'm because when I was in the Army, people are like, "Oh, you're lucky with your job" and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, you guys don't know.
No.
Yeah. I always love when people are
No.
like, "You're so lucky." It's like, no,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not. That's
No, it's not the
I
case.
promise you, I'm not a lucky person.
No. All right. So what advice would you give anglers looking to compete with the LBAA?
Do it. Just do it. It's such a great group of gals. They were so helpful. I didn't know, I only knew one of them when I fished my first one at Gunnersville, and it was a little intimidating, but they were very welcoming and gave me all kinds of tips, and any question I had, they answered. And we've got Travis has done such a great job with that organization and with the schedule.
Oh, yeah.
I would encourage anybody. I've got several kayak gals that are going to come over and fish the one at Caddo coming up here in April. I would love to see all of the women listening to this try to sign up for one of those tournaments and give it a shot, whether it be on the boater side or the co-angler side. Amazing group of women. I have just so loved both of my experiences with them, and I can't wait to fish. I'm going to fish 2 more so I can qualify for their classic. So I'm excited.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Oh, where are we here?
Yes, I see it. Like we got
Yeah.
Donnie, Jennifer was going to do that. We've got like 4 or 5
We signed up for Caddo.
kayak stuff that are going to fish it. So I'm trying to
encourage
awesome. More and more of them to get into it. So and try it, because it's
absolutely
as much fishing experience as you can get, kayak, boat, but what have you. It's great. So, and it's neat. It's a neat community.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, fishing.
Absolutely.
People don't understand the community of. I don't believe how tight knit it is, especially with you gals.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep, great women.
Yep. I feel like the men are a little more cutthroat off the water.
Can be.
They can be, yeah. I've met some amazing men in this that are just arms helpful. I feel pretty fortunate. I've got some great men. But yeah, I definitely know that they can. They want to. They're out there to get you too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Here's a tough question. How does this win compare with or rank with some of the others that you've had?
Well, this one's kind of special because it's the first one in my boat. So that's definitely have I had bigger wins? Yes, I have, but this one's really special because it's my first one in my boat, and it's with an organization where I fished my first boat tournament. So I think that's really, really neat. And I felt like, because it was an all women's trail, like there's something kind of special about that, because we're all it's nice to feel like we're all kind of rooting for each other.
Oh yeah.
So this was a unique win, and it was a special win because of that.
Nice.
So I noticed in Gunnersville, I was at the Gunnersville event, and every lady was in under that overhang there and watched nobody left. Everybody was still there all the way to the end. I thought that was really impressive.
Yeah, I thought so too. And I think that's really important, because I think sometimes it's so easy to, kind of make it, especially in women's fishing. I think there's, we can get guilty of just kind of trying to make it all about us, but it really is so much bigger than that. It takes all of us to kind of make this movement go forward, no matter where you are in our sport. So I love to see like a collective unit of women just kind of lifting each other up and moving forward.
Yes. Yeah, definitely had a good vibe. Y'all had a good vibe at Gunnersville. Yeah. I guarantee you.
Yeah. All right. We're excuse me. We're about 50 minutes in, and we want to give you time to talk about your sponsors, and people help you along the way. So go right ahead and talk about your sponsors if you like.
Oh, well, I mean, I've got great ones. I'm very, very fortunate. They allow me to do this for what I do. So, I mean, gosh, I usually don't have to list them off. So I don't want to forget anybody, but I mean, all of them. Like, I mean, Yeti, I've been with Yeti for for 6 years now, and they're one of my favorite companies. I have the pleasure of working with Fenwick, Berkeley, Hobie, Dakota Lithium, Aftco. Goodness, there's a bunch of Blue Storm, Torpedo. Oh gosh, there's a bunch of them, but I'm fortunate. They're all wonderful. But I think, what really is something that is helpful in addition to the sponsors is just the community and the people like you guys. I've said this before, just for having the platforms to have us on. It's so appreciated. The tournament directors, people like Travis that sacrifice a lot of time. It's often a very thankless job. And I always want to do my best to kind of give the people that don't really get the spotlight a little bit more of the spotlight that I think they deserve. The camera crews, the people, the media, the writers, the people doing the podcast, everybody that's working hard to try to give people like myself a platform and a light. So, the sponsors are great. I'll always appreciate them and love them, but I always like to take the time to really highlight the people behind it all that don't often get the credit. That they're appreciated always, and we couldn't do it without them.
All right, we got a couple more comments I want to go through real quick, and let's see. Oh, where'd you go? Guy says, "Great job, Christine. Proud of your achievements."
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Guy says, "Shelby from hers kids says hello."
All right.
Rhonda Pitts, what do you dump the SD cards to the end of the day?
Just to my Mac, so I can get ready to edit, try to get the videos kicked out as quick as I can.
Makes sense.
I can't believe you do it all yourself.
I know. That's where do you find the time?
Well, see, there's sleep and there's those that don't sleep. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You're pretty much right.
Sleep is overrated.
Jennifer Wilhite Fasulo says, "You're amazing and you put all your heart and soul into everything you do."
Thank you, Jennifer. She's such a sweet gal.
Day Trading with Nuke says, "Drain plugs, not just a good idea, sometimes considered a required item."
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I've had it happen before.
Rhonda says, "The road is hard. There are a lot of sacrifices made to be out there continually."
Amen. Yes, there is.
Good point.
Jennifer says she signed up for Caddo for the LBA as a co-angler first time.
Yep, I cannot wait to see her.
Carol Walls says, great. "The lady in front of us tonight is so real. A great inspiration for every person that wants to fish. Don't be a dreamer, be a doer."
That's great. Thank you, Carol. That was quite the compliment. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And Jennifer's excited for that.
Me too. Yep.
And Travis with the LBAA says, "Hey, Christine, congrats again."
Hey, Travis. Thank you again for everything you do.
And I want to thank Travis too, because he's the one who we worked together last year to have an women angler show. So, which actually is, which has become one of our, actually it is our better shows.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Carol says, "You coming to Bassmaster at the Fort Worth event in March?"
I'm teaching it. So yes.
Awesome.
That's at the Bassmaster Classic. So yes, I won't ever miss one of those. I'm always at the Classic.
Yep. And
so, Rob, you having that that bikini from Fish Her? Can you go to that Bassmaster Classic? Or?
Not the one in Texas. The one next year in Knoxville, I'll be there. I'll be in Knoxville, but not at Texas.
All right.
At least not that I know of right now.
Yes. Now, ever since we had Tricia on, I think the first time we talked about getting Rob into a bikini.
Hey, I have been losing weight.
Rob.
Yeah. I have been losing weight. I'll get my bikini figure back slowly. So.
LaTanya says she'll be at Fort Worth.
Yay.
There you go. All right.
Rhonda wants to know when will the invite go out?
Which invite?
Must be Bassmaster class, maybe.
Oh, there's no invites. That's an open event to anybody who wants to go.
Oh, good deal.
Yep, just like any of our.
That's a great idea, but bass.
Yeah, and it's going to be going. It's going to be taking place on the Sunday at the Classic. I think Sunday early afternoon, late morning, at the Bassmaster Classic. We'll have our Bassmaster kind of seminar and more. It's going to be more of like a get together and just community type of deal. We'll have a couple of like little things we'll do there, but yeah, more to come on that.
Cool.
Awesome. So tune into her social media. I'm sure she'll explain everything.
Mm-hmm.
She says last year they had to sign up. I
don't believe that is the case at the class. So this is, this one's a little bit different because it's at the Bassmaster Classic. It's not going to be one of the, seminars that we host at the Elite Series events. It's kind of a standalone little deal that'll be at the Classic. So don't hold me to that, but I don't believe there's going to be signups. If there are, I'm not sure when those are going out. I just teach them. MK is kind of the one lead almost. But hopefully we'll have some stuff coming on that.
I like how she said it. Definitely. I just teach them. Yeah. All nonchalant like.
Yeah.
I just help teach.
Yeah. I just show up. I just show up.
I just show up and do what I'm told. So
there you go.
You sound like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a question I've been wanting to ask you. Not related to fishing. In all your travels, do they have like soft serve ice cream, custard ice cream down south in like this time of year?
They do, but they do, and I have my favorite little ice cream haunts across the country, and honestly, just nothing compares to the Cayuga region up there, like the Finger Lakes region and Cayuga specifically.
Well, I just never really went down to Florida during the winter, and because like I crave for custard ice cream this time of year.
Yep.
And nobody up here has it. So
do they not operate in the winter?
No.
That's criminal.
I agree. And the only place that has soft serve is like McDonald's, and that's not even ice cream.
Oh.
Yeah. So. All right. So anything else, Rob?
No, I said congrats again on a well-deserved win. You grounded it out, and you kept your head in the game, and it worked out for you. But congrats again.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Caddo. Honestly, my goal was to win Caddo this year before Seminole. I made my goal because that's one of my favorite lakes. It's so much fun. And I told some guys, I was like, I really want to try. I'd love to win Caddo. That'd be so cool. And they're like, well, there's some absolute hammers that fish Caddo that live in Texas, and they fish that lake all the time. And I was like, good. I would love to have just some big bass caught. I want to, I want there to be some really stiff competition, and I love beach that. I want that. So I'm excited, but that's kind of a goal. I have a goal to catch. I want to try to catch 17, 18 pounds a day, and I want to try to win Caddo. I would love to do that, but I mean, if not, I'm going to have a great time regardless. But that was my goal before this even started. So maybe I don't have to have that as a goal anymore because I got my win. We'll see.
I kind of feel like you're very
two wins would be good.
So. I am a very goal-oriented person. Yes. Yeah. Good time.
Yeah. So it's not like you're going to go into the tournament saying, well, if I finish last, I fished it. No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate you. Appreciate Travis for setting this up for us with the LBAA. We told them the beginning of the year that we would still do this. I enjoy
doing it. Yeah.
I enjoy talking with the women because they're more passionate than most of the men. So, but I do have a story about,
and they're thankful for the time. They're thankful for the time as well. Absolutely.
Yes. Years ago, I was fishing a club tournament, and we went to Sodas Bay, which is off of Lake Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up staying in a hotel, and I think it was called Deer Park Run or Deer Run Park or whatever hotel. Mm-hmm. And so one of the pairs that rented the room together, The one guy was snoring so loud that his roommate ended up sleeping in the hallway.
Jeez, man.
You know how that goes.
Yep. And then on the way to the tournament, he forgot to unplug his boat like you did and drove his extension cord all the way down to the ramp, flailing around.
Whoops.
Fished the tournament, came out, ran his trailer through a ditch, had to jack it up and put a new tire on it.
Jeez.
On the way home on the thruway, he ran out of gas.
Is that did I have a twin somewhere, baby, that I wasn't told about?
Oh my goodness.
But I was like, are you kidding me? And he stopped at a gas station too. Well, of course, when he stopped, he picked up a 6-pack of beer instead of a gallon of gas.
Oh gosh. That's called no focus. No focus.
But yeah, our club got a lot of miles out of that.
Oh, I'd say.
So
that's funny.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, Christine.
Yeah, thank you guys for
we
having me.
Appreciate you
and as always.
Hope to get together sometime.
Oh yeah, well you'll see me this summer. I got to get back to you on that. I finally have a couple of days I can look, and I can't wait to come crash with you.
That's fine.
There you go.
So, I forgot to ask you, because I don't want to get in trouble. My wife can't threaten me anymore because she works overnights. I get to sleep in the bed whether she's here or not. What's your favorite homemade cookie?
So I like is it everything but the kitchen sink, where it's like the coarse sea salt, like little caramel bits and chocolate chips and all that. I like sea salt and caramel stuff and chocolate, like coarse sea salt. I like oatmeal raisin. I like white chocolate macadamia. I like peanut butter.
Wow.
You like just about everything.
Did that answer your question?
That sounds good. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, because Jeremy's favorite is the white macadamia.
I like that one too. Yeah. About the only one, I love food. I just love food, and especially desserts. I've honestly, about the only cookie I don't like is like I'm not a huge fan of like dark chocolate cake, chocolate ice cream, chocolate cookies.
Okay.
John loves snickerdoodles. That's his hidden favorite.
Oh yeah, that's another one. I love that one too. That's a good one. Yeah. So I think we listed 5 for my one favorite. Let's say on Monday, let's do snickerdoodle. On Tuesday, we'll do white chocolate macadamia. On Thursday, we'll do everything but the kitchen sink. We'll just have one for each day.
Can't forget
cookie of the day. Cookie of the day.
Yep.
My wife and I were talking, and she's considering doing a cookie box a month. Like, how some of those tackle companies have a tackle box or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's considering doing that for cookies.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know how. I hope I'm not the guy taking the stuff to the post office, because I don't know who's getting their package today and who's not.
Hey, John, you throw a free pack of worms in there too.
There you go. All right. Well, Christine, we'll let you go. We know you're busy, and appreciate everything you've done for the fishing community and for us. And you just keep on the good work.
I appreciate you guys. Y'all do the same, and have a blessed rest of the evening. Hopefully talk to y'all soon.
Yep.
All right.
We'll do. And get some rest.
I'm about there. My bedtime's about right now. So
All right. All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. See you.
All right.
Wow. We need to have her back on for time management. I couldn't do half the stuff she does. I promise you.
Oh, I don't even try.
No.
Ed Cohen says snickerdoodles rule.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it's all good.
Well, no, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. We got the co-angler for tomorrow, and
yep.
Glad to see everybody survive the weekend. especially you, Latanya. You know, I was kind of worried that you would be wouldn't make tonight because you're still partying and celebrating and dancing in the street and all that stuff. But
I
hey,
figured she'd be tired out doing that victory dancing. That victory dancing may tired her out by now.
I don't think she gets tired out, man.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
So, all right, folks. Well, you guys take care and see you tomorrow.
Yep. Be safe in the storm, guys. Hunker down.